And Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now. 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you are. We're back. We're live. We're off, and we're running. Another brand new live edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you. Happy Friday morning in the Tennessee Valley. 7 o'clock on the dot. Safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be off to on this Friday morning. And as we look, the temperatures kind of dipped a little bit. Should be another, well, let's see here. If I go about 7 o'clock tonight, you're looking probably roughly around 57 degrees, 56 degrees. And I say that because tonight, just like last night, it is round one of the high school football playoffs all across the state of Alabama. Several, and I mean several games got underway last night. Parker gets by May Jemison 62-14. Mountain Brook dispatches Buckhorn 35-14. Tanner was down. Just remember, what was it, 3-4 weeks ago? Tanner was down 32-8 in their regular season, in a regular season contest. They were trailing
against Lexington.
They were trailing big to Lamar County last night. They come back to win 64-55 last night due to the Tanner Rattlers. West Morgan, the Rebels, who have the most prolific scoring offense in the state, they scored 56 points last night in a win against Etowah. They shut out Etowah in round one.
Not surprised. They're on a roll.
Yeah, Southeastern over Collinsville, 28-21. Lawrence County falls 49-17. Hatton falls to Sulligent, 43-12. Colbert County falls to Winfield, 43-21. North Sand Mountain falls to Locust Fork, 54-7. Mars Hill Bible, that's important. They get by Oakman, 63-7. And I believe if Madison Academy can get a win tonight, they would face Mars Hill next week. I believe that's how that looks in the playoffs. So that could be a monster second-round matchup there in Class 3A. Thompson over Florence, 42-0. Boaz gets revenge over Southside, 10-7. Boaz had lost the regular season matchup in overtime.
I was going to say both those games were classics. It's the first Boaz playoff win in many years for the Pirates. Congratulations to them. Deschler
gets a win over Fultondale, 43-27. Central Florence falls to Cherokee County, 56-28. And Cedar Bluff falls to Wadley, 62-10. So there was a ton of week one, or round one, I should say, playoff games going on all across the Tennessee Valley last night. But it's too bad. Both Class 6A Region 8 teams, Buckhorn and May Jemison, too bad for them. Both of them fall. But if you're Matt Patterson and the Buckhorn Bucks, you're a young team. You had a winning record. And, I mean, the season, the future is bright.
No question about that. And they played a really good Mountain Brook team, a culture program with Chris Yeager, and it was 35-14, pardon me. But it was still, I thought they very good acquitting of themselves. And then, Coach Rico White with May Jemison, they were coming off of a winless season before he came to town, and certainly their biggest win of the year was beating Irving McGuire and Lee 19-18, and that helped them get into the playoffs. And turning around and winning 4 games this year, I believe it was. They did a lot to turn the program around and get back into the playoffs, and so got to give May Jemison a lot of credit. I mean, they had a really tough first round matchup as well. I mean, Parker is loaded. I mean, they've got Division I prospects all over the place. And so that wasn't an ideal matchup for them, but getting to the tournament was the biggest key for them.
Right.
Again, bouncing back from a really tough year under Hall of Famer Harold Wells, whose last year was a year ago, and bringing in Rico from Anniston to kind of change the culture and get things going in a positive direction was big, and to get into the playoffs. And they were the only Huntsville City school that made it.
Right, that's true.
And so give them a lot of credit for getting there. And, again, I think it's something to build on.
All right. Let's go out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline because our good friend from AL.com, Jimmy Lay, was busy last night. I believe he did the West Morgan game. I believe that's what he told us.
Yep. He was at
And tonight
West
he's
Morgan
got
game, yep.
another busy slate. He's going to be He's going to be having eyes on the Madison Academy Hoax Bluff game, the Hartselle Center Point game, the Athens Oxford game, the Scottsboro Moody game. But our good friend Jimmy Lay from AL.com, kind enough to help us talk some high school football.
Yeah, he is. Jimmy's with us, and I know, Jimmy, you were out there. West Morgan, they're the real deal, man. I figured they were going to handle Etowah. They win 56-0 and continue their winning ways under Drew Phillips, now 11-0.
Yeah, West Morgan is just a machine. Jalen Fletcher last night, I mean, every time he touches the ball, he's just electric. He could go the distance on any play. But really, their defense was just so dominant. I mean, I think they gave up less than 100 yards last night to Etowah. And every team that makes the playoffs is going to be a good team. But they couldn't get anything going last night. West Morgan just jumped on them from the very first play. And they really, they could be the best team, in the North in 4A. But we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, then tonight you get will you be at the Madison Academy Hoax Bluff game?
No, I'll be at Westminster and Oak Grove.
Okay.
Oak Grove is the number 4 seed from Region 5, and Westminster getting to host, having won Region 8, and hopefully for them, they will put together a really good offensive night with Brandon Mush. Last week they didn't do so well against Madison Academy, but I got to tell you, man, Madison Academy, they may be the best team in almost any classification, and they just dominated last week, held Brandon Mush to, I believe, he had about 100 yards, which put him over 13,000 for his career. But they don't care about the yards anymore. That's we talk about that stuff, but Brandon Mush and Coach LeBlanc, all they're worried about is getting the dub and being able to move on to the second round. And I think they've got a great chance to advance, and that is where I will be tonight, though, guys.
Yeah, and hopefully the rain's going to get out of here and allow these teams to have good weather. We certainly hope so. But like you said, we've already had some 4A games go down, and Cherokee County also won last night. Cherokee County beat a Central Florence team that we know that a couple times Westminster's had, big-time scoring battles with. But again, Cherokee County went to the finals last year, 56-28. They're going to get the winner of Haleyville, North Jackson. Haleyville, Bo Culver, in his second tenure there, and they can throw the football around. North Jackson, as everybody knows, has been hot the second half of the season. And they started 0-5 and have really turned things around. And they've got Diego Holt. That's going to be an interesting ball game there as Haleyville will host North Jackson. And then our Raiders, Randolph, the Bandy, and I'll be on the call for that against a corner team, Jimmy, that is 9-1, but because of tiebreakers ended up the 3rd seed and having to travel. But they're under first-year coach Trent Campbell. That's going to be an interesting matchup because if Randolph wins that game, they get a rematch with that West Morgan team that they played the first week.
That's right. And I got to tell you, looking at the brackets, I think Region 8, I mean, some people might look at Region 8 and 4A and say they're not as strong, but they got a chance to sweep tonight. I think Randolph's got a great chance to win at home over Corner. Of course, we already talked about Westminster. I think North Jackson, as hot as they are, got a great chance to win tonight. And Priceville, even against Dora, they're a tough team, and they grind it out against you, ball control. And if they can bleed that clock the way they have done against a lot of teams, I think they've got a great chance to upset Dora. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Raiders do tonight against that corner team. They, like I said, they're 9-1, but boy, they got blown out against Haleyville, and that blew their chance to win the region. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how they bounce back. Randolph's just a gritty team. They know how to grind it out. They've had some injuries, but they fought through it. And, Drew, you know more than anyone following them this year just how tough they are. And it wouldn't shock me at all to see them win tonight and see North Jackson and also Priceville along with Westminster. It wouldn't shock me at all to see Region 8 get a sweep tonight.
Well, then we're not supposed to look ahead to the second round, but Mars Hill did their part last night.
Yeah.
Madison Academy, we're hoping they do their part tonight, but that could be a fantastic second round matchup. Mars Hill Bible and Madison Academy.
Yeah, Coach Gotsey wouldn't want to hear this, but they're going to smoke Hoax Bluff tonight. I'm sorry. They're that good. I mean, they're just
right.
You know,
we don't want to say
defense,
it, but yes.
Yeah.
They score a lot of points, but man, they make their hay on defense. And when they shut down Westminster last week, nobody has shut down Westminster, and they basically shut them down. I mean, Westminster had one really good drive in the third quarter, but they on a 4th and 1, they stopped them from scoring. Ken Cherry is the real deal, can take it the distance on any play. Joshua Williams, also a really solid running back. But for them, it's that defense. And they don't give up much, and don't look for them to give up much this week. And I'm telling you, Mars Hill would have to come in there next week. It's going to be a tough battle, but I just really don't see anybody beating Madison Academy in the North. We'll see how it plays out, but they've impressed me.
Well, Jimmy, I wanted to ask you because I was talking on the phone with someone last night about how what the rules are in the brackets. But if you, I guess, I wasn't sure if they had changed the rule. Like, for example, if Madison Academy plays Mars Hill, is it just who's in the top of the bracket that gets to host?
Well, Madison Academy is the number one team from their region, I think Region 7.
Right.
And Mars Hill finished second.
So did the region champion get to host automatically then?
They get to host unless the 3 seed wins. Like if you were on the road the week before, like say Mars Hill had lost, then I forget who they beat last night, but they would have then Madison Academy would have to travel.
Yeah, Mars Hill beat Oakman,
really, Yeah, it only comes into play in the third round when you have 2 number 1 seeds, and then the team that's on top is the one that will get to host.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's where that rule comes in. I was wondering because I just didn't know because you kind of look ahead. But, yeah, Scott's right, though. I mean, that would be like a, buckle your chin strap kind of deal, Mars Hill and Madison Academy should that happen. I mean, that's a heck of a second-round matchup. And Mars Hill's played one of the most difficult schedules in the state. So that one would be very, 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 very interesting.
Yeah, Mars Hill, they've got a really good team. Madison Academy is so quick. They're so fast on defense. You have to fool them to really be able to make any hay on offense. Westminster was able to score 1 touchdown on a little end-around pass, and that's about the only way you're gonna be able to fool those guys. Mars Hill doesn't do a lot of deception. They got some big linemen. They try to line up and just smash mouth. Should be a really tough game. I know Madison Academy is down their best receiver. I don't know if he's going to be back. Maybe by next week. We'll have to see how that plays out. Won't need him tonight, though. They should have no trouble with Hoax Bluff.
Well, it should be a good night. Well, Jimmy, we appreciate it. We look forward to your coverage, and let everybody know how to follow you.
Yeah, tonight, just go on AL.com, preps@AL.com. You'll be able to find all the scores. There's a lot of folks out there that put video. So it's just a great night of high school football. It should be dry. I think the rain's going to cut out around noon today. So it'll be a little cool, but it should be good. Hey, this time of year, everybody's playing hurt. Even the media had a root canal yesterday. But, man, I'm ready to go. It's that time of year. We all got to play hurt, man.
All right. Thank you,
sir.
Jimmy.
Got it.
All right, Jimmy Lay, AL.com.
Root canal,
Woo!
Yeah.
Some of these.
Well, I mean, I made Jemison. Let me correct. My apologies. They went 3-8, but still made the playoffs. Won 3 games, but
they just won the right 3.
But yeah, they did. They did what they had to do to get in the tournament. But unfortunately, like a root canal, they had to play Parker. I mean, you get
Parker's good.
You get a difficult matchup, but getting to the playoffs in year 1 for Rico White, man, it's big. So hopefully they're gonna set the stage for an even bigger. Turnaround next year, and it's going to continue to build and get better. But congrats to May Jemison, only city school to make the playoffs. Congrats to Randolph. They're going to take the field tonight in Westminster, and certainly we think Madison Academy's got a great chance to advance. So hopefully it'll be a good night for our area teams in getting to the second round.
I mentioned that Tanner-Lamar County game. Tanner trailed 34-20 at the half.
I mean, I noticed they were trailing at one point 41-35 before I saw them really take control of it.
They scored 44 points in the second half, 23 in the third, 21 in the fourth. To get a 64-55 win.
Well, look, man. They already did it against Lexington and came back and won, and that's one of the reasons they were team of the week. So you can't ever give up on Tanner, man. They're going to keep battling.
Ooh.
At first, I thought it was a dang basketball game until I realized that was their first round opponent.
64-55. There's some high school teams that did not score 64 points last night.
I mean, there's some high school teams that didn't score 64 probably for half of their season.
There's Iowa football hasn't scored 64.
Oh, there you go.
It's all right. We got to get a break in. When we come back, we're going to switch it. We're going to talk some college football. 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
24 in the Beltline in Decatur and Old Big Cove south of Sutton. Both of those reported as injury-type accidents. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have the state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop, too. Don't forget our parts department. So, if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
There's nothing like the freedom you feel when you're on the water in your own boat from Freedom Marine in Guntersville. And when it's time to get your boat ready for cold weather, Freedom Marine is your best choice to winterize your boat so it's ready to go next spring. If you've been thinking about a new boat, Freedom Marine has a great selection on sale now with some of the biggest discounts they've had in a decade. For new and used boats, outboard sales, financing, service, and parts, it's Freedom Marine. Highway 431 in Guntersville and online at freedommarincenter.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. We're going to touch on the Alabama-Kentucky game here in a little bit, but we've talked a lot about the Ole Miss-Georgia game. Yeah. And we've talked a lot about what it would mean for Ole Miss to get a win, right? And what it would do, program,
like Brett Norsworthy said yesterday. He said, look, man, it would be the biggest road win in Ole Miss modern history.
Well, you know what that win would mean for Tennessee? While Ole Miss has pretty much, Alabama, pretty much they're going to get to the SEC title game for the West because Alabama would have to collapse against Kentucky, collapse against Auburn, and have Ole Miss beat Georgia, and Ole Miss would have to beat State. The road for Ole Miss to get to Atlanta is windy, curvy, uphill, and all that.
They need a lot of help.
But the road for Tennessee to get to the SEC East is a little easier if Ole Miss beats Georgia, because that means next week we would get a winner-take-all in Knoxville for the SEC East title if Ole Miss could get through Georgia, but Tennessee would have to do their part in what, to me, is a game. We haven't talked a lot about it, but 13th ranked Tennessee, 14th ranked Missouri in Columbia.
Yeah.
Tennessee's just a 2-point favorite in that one. That is one of those games where, okay, what do we think? Tennessee on the road at Missouri.
Well, had a chance. I sat in on the drive last night, and Wes and I talked to Vince Ferrara, and yeah, it's a tricky game, but Tennessee found a way to get it done at Kentucky and pull that one out, and it was not easy. And so they showed some maturity there, and were able to handle business when they were having to basically not let Alabama beat them twice, and they were able to survive in Lexington. This game is tricky as well, though, because Missouri, their offense has been, really, really one of the better ones in the SEC. Cook, the QB, has had a really good year and proven that he didn't have a great stat line against Georgia, and he had 2 interceptions. I think the key might be Luther Burden. Luther Burden's been an All-American this year, but it's not 100% he's going to play. I think that more than likely he'll go, but he got banged up against Georgia, so we'll see if he's in the lineup. They got Theo Wees, the transfer from Oklahoma, as well. They have Schrader. They have an underrated running attack. But I will say this about the Vols. The Vols' defense is pretty good. I think it's better than people give it credit for. And Tennessee, the biggest thing Vince pointed out, and this will be the key to the game probably, Tennessee, the one common denominator in the 2 games they lost, and they lost to Alabama and they lost to Florida. Florida kind of ran out and hid in the second quarter and then was able to kind of, just sit on the ball in the second half and take the air out of it. But Tennessee it's really them and Ole Miss, and this will be the key for Ole Miss against Georgia too. They're probably the 2 best rushing teams in the league, and the 2 games that Tennessee lost, they didn't hit 200 yards rushing. They hit 200 yards in every other game, including against Kentucky.
Right.
So that's probably going to be a benchmark for the Vols, because it also takes the onus off of Joe Milton. Even though Joe Milton threw the ball exceptionally well against pathetic UConn, they're a basketball school.
Right.
But again, even Nico Iamale Moneybags played quite a bit in that game. So they're going to have to be able to run the ball against Missouri and kind of control the clock. But I really think they got a shot. I know that I heard Czar's pick, before on his Unleashed. He's picking Tennessee to win the game. I think it's basically a pick 'em, is it not? Like 1.5, 2 points?
Two. It was 2. I just said it was 2. Tennessee was 2.
Yeah.
Now think about this though for Brady Cook though.
Yeah, Brady Cook's had
Brady
a good year.
Cook from week 3 to week 6.
Yeah.
Averaged 375 yards a game, 10 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Right.
In his last 3 games, he's averaged just shy of 200 yards, only 7 yards per attempt, with as many picks, 3, as touchdowns. So he was productive early, hasn't been as productive as late. And if Tennessee's defense plays as good, can they continue to confuse Brady Cook?
I mean, potentially, but also you got to understand the schedule was pretty tough for Mizzou in the middle, but they gave LSU all they wanted before dropping that one in Como, 49-39. And then they were very impressive, I thought, in going to Kentucky and winning. I think that's kind of where it raised the eyebrows. Like they went over to Kentucky and pounded them pretty good. And then they went through the motions. I mean, the week before LSU, they weren't super impressive against Vandy, and that's why people were kind of wondering, okay, how good really is this Mizzou team? But when they pushed LSU to the brink, and then they won at Kentucky, and then they beat South Kakalaki, I thought, they played Georgia tough. I mean, it was 30-21. They certainly made a good acquitting of themselves, but you just brought it up. Brady Cook had 2 INTs, and I think he completed less than 50% of his passes. I think he was like 14 out of 30. He's going to have to be better than that against the Vols, no doubt about it. They're going to have to block the Vols' pass rush. This is actually going to be an interesting game because, again, like you said, there is an outside shot. Tennessee needs a lot of help. And Tennessee would still like to ruin Georgia's season at the very least. But
the only help they need is Ole Miss to beat Georgia.
Well, only help they need. That would only be the biggest win in Lane Kiffin's coaching history where he doesn't choke on sauce.
I know.
And it would only be, the biggest win probably in the modern era of Ole Miss football. It would be even bigger than when they beat Alabama in 2014 or 2015, okay? And they beat Alabama on the road in 2015 when everything went their way. But that was early in the year. This is a November game.
I know. I say only.
So,
I mean, it is a tall task, but you don't control your own.
At the very
path.
least, what's at stake in this game on Saturday, though, in Mizzou, is the winner of this game is still very much alive for a Big Six bowl. Okay.
True. You go to 8-2. Either you both, whoever wins is going to go to 8-2 on the year.
And I'm going to be a big Mizzou fan because I hate Tennessee. Bunch of maggots.
Oh boy. All right. I tell you what, 7:28 on a Friday.
David Lloyd of the Randolph Raiders gets to follow that.
We gotta go talk to him. He at least can come for dinner.
Yeah, he can.
No Tennessee. We're only going to need a table for 2 before the show's over. Let's get a break in. David Lloyd will come back and join us next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Friday, expect scattered showers. Otherwise, we'll sit under a cloudy sky. High temperatures going to be topping out in the upper 50s for the afternoon. Heading into your Friday night, we'll continue to see mostly clouds. Low temperatures falling into the upper 40s, lower 50s in some areas. We could also see gusty winds as high as 20 miles per hour. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Just got a wreck at Nick Davis and Wedgwood Terrace. Apparently that one's a no injury. Should be about ready to clear on a wreck in Decatur, 24 in the Beltline, and they may still be working on Old Big Cove south of Sutton Road. That one had a report of injury. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Score big deals at Baumhauer's this football season and order from our Inflation Bites menu. Try our Buffalo Wing Special with fries and a complimentary beverage for only $9.99. And what's football without a cold beer? Our pitchers of Yingling and Yingling Flight are only $7.99, served all day, 7 days a week. And huddle up, football fans. Sign up today for our free NFL Pick'em contest at Baumhauers.com for weekly prizes. Baumhauers, legendary fun and legendary food.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Listen each Friday to the Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show, powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Indeed, we will have our round one. I want to say week one. I've been doing that all morning, but it is our round one high school football playoff edition of the Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show. That'll come your way after the conclusion.
Powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission.
Powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission, indeed. I totally forgot that. But anyway, that'll come your way after the conclusion of tonight's Randolph Corner game, which you'll be able to hear right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. So it is a big night for high school football on our airwaves, big night for high school football all across North Alabama, because if you are playing tonight or you played last night, you are one of the 32 teams in your class to be playing.
Right. That's what we were talking about earlier with Mae Jemison. Even though the record, wasn't what they wanted it to be, it still was a big improvement over a year ago, and you're in the tournament. So once you're in the tournament, it doesn't matter. Everybody's 0-0. And so they had a good playoff run under Rico White, fell short against Parker, but Parker's one of the best teams in the state of Alabama. And speaking of one of the better programs in North Alabama, the consistent ones, the Randolph Raiders, and it's been an honor to be their color analyst the last 2 seasons, and they're trying to make another playoff run. They made the deepest run in school history last year to the quarterfinals against Cherokee County. They're trying to start another run tonight against a really good corner Yellow Jacket team, and it'll be out there at Sports Med Field. Great environment, great setting for high school football, and their fourth-year head coach, David Lloyd, is now with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline as his team has made their 4th straight playoff appearance, 3rd straight at home. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Doing great, guys. How about you?
We're doing good. We're doing good, Coach. I mean, I know the weather right now is not great. Hopefully it's going to get on up out of here. It's a little chilly, but when it's this time of year and it's cold and the grass is brown, it's playoff time, and your team's going to take the field tonight.
Yeah, that's what they say. You want to be playing when the grass is brown. So fortunately, we're able to do that and get us another football game tonight. Hopefully the rain's going to get out of here. We'll get a little dry for kickoff tonight, and man, we're looking forward to it. Should be a great atmosphere for playoff football.
Coach, when we talked to you last week, it was you were finishing up the regular season against a very, very talented Fairview team. You knew going in, going to be a tall task to close out the regular season. I guess the biggest questions are: did you leave that game healthy, and what can you take away from that game that you can use for tonight?
Well, I think you play a game like that at the end of the year. That's a really good football team at Fairview, and they're really talented. They're really, really well coached. Coach Redding's done a phenomenal job over there for years with that program. So for me, I think it gives you one more week to look at a team that's going to be really good and prepare you for what you're going to see in the playoffs. Like you guys said, at this point, the records doesn't mean anything. You got here for a reason. You're one of the 32 best teams in the state if you have a chance in your classification to get here. And we want to play good football teams every time we get a chance. We want to be pushed. We want to be challenged. I think it makes us better, and you get an idea of what the competition is going to be like. You're going to have to play and beat really good football teams if you want to advance in the playoffs. Especially in 4A, and Corner's no different. They're a great football team. They're going to present a lot of challenges for us tonight, and we're looking forward to the opportunity.
Yeah, no question, Coach, and certainly the Raiders got a tough defensive look from Fairview last week. I thought they did as good a job of defending Randolph as anyone I've been able to witness this year, because the Raiders have had an offense that's really gotten better each week. William Mitchell settled in at the quarterback position. Even with guys getting nicked up, different receivers have stepped up. The running game, Graham Beatty really got better and better as the year went on. But again, I think you got a really good idea of how tough sledding the playoffs could be with that Fairview defense that kind of helped hopefully prepare the Raiders for tonight against Corner.
Yeah, I think you look at that game and, you go back and look at the game film, you see there's some opportunities there, offensively to make some plays, maybe when we didn't. I also think you look at what they do offensively. I thought they used tempo really well. They had a really good game plan. And defensively, I agree with you. I think they played us better, as just as good, if not better, than anyone else has all season. And I think it's a testament to the way they're coached and the way they play. I thought they did a great job swarming to the football. It wasn't just one guy out there making tackles for them. They played as a complete team. So you try to learn from that, what you can do better. And, as coaches, you always look back and say, man, I wish I would have done this, or, man, we should have tried this. So I think it helps us as well, game planning, against just a good, sound, disciplined football team.
When you look at Corner, it's hard to be, this team reminds you of this team, but is there a style that Corner plays with that you've kind of seen this year already?
I think there are elements of what they do on both sides of the football that has some carryover to teams we've seen. Each team every week presents its own challenge. And,
right.
And their own look and their own spin on things. They got a really good, bigger-bodied running quarterback, runs the ball really well. Hard running back. They got some good size up front. They do a really good job getting the ball out quick in the pass game. Defensively, structurally, I think we've seen a couple of teams that kind of run the same kind of base defense that they do, but they're a very disciplined football team. They do their job really well. They execute at a high level, and there's some things they do, especially getting to the football defensively, kind of reading their keys, that I think they do just as good, if not better, than anybody else we've played this year. Offensively, they're going to present some challenges with some of the tackle over formations and some of the heavy stuff, and I'd say they do some things most recently similar to what Fairview does offensively. So they do some good things there. Defensively, they're a little different, than the last couple of games we've played. They're a three-man front. They move around. They do a great job there. Really active with their hands. They present a bunch of different coverages for you. So they're gonna make things challenging tonight. That's for sure.
No question about that, Coach. And then I would think that offensive balance is going to be a key, too, against a defense that's disciplined and like that. And, of course, I thought the Raiders got off to a really nice start for the first couple of drives against Fairview. Just couldn't cash it in. And scoring first, getting off to a good start is always important.
Yeah, you always want to get off to a fast start. I think if you can score early, I think it gives your offense some confidence that, they can go down and punch it in whenever they need to. Defensively, it's always key if you can get a couple of big stops early. Just kind of gives your guys the confidence that, hey, we're in this game, and, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be 4 quarters. We got to do our job and get after it. Obviously, we'd love to start fast. I think that's one of my keys every week, man, is try to start fast. And that's no different this week. We feel like if we can get on the board early, it kind of opens some things up for us on both sides of the football. And, I'm sure Corner has the same thought. If we can score early, we kind of have an advantage and kind of puts us in the driver's seat a little bit.
And with it being the playoffs, those little things matter a little bit more this week as well. The turnovers, the penalties, that's the kind of stuff that can come back and really get you this time of year.
That's kind of what we've talked about all week. We've got to, be really patient and, take what the defense is going to give us offensively. If they're going to allow us to get 4 yards, those 3 or 4 yards look a lot better than 1 or 2. We need every yard we can get. I think special teams really plays a huge focus right now. You want to be perfect every time you get a chance for extra points. You don't want anything to go wrong on your punt return team. If you can change field position, I think that's huge in playoff games. It's huge in any game, but really an emphasis when you're in the postseason. Any extra returns you can get, and then like you're talking about, takeaways or turnovers. You got to be able to protect the football. You might be able to get away with it some, in early in the season or teams you play, but when you get to the playoffs, as good as everybody's going to be here, you really don't have the luxury of turning the ball over and expecting a high chance to win the football game. So we want to protect the football, and any chance our defense gets to get a takeaway and create an extra possession for us is always a positive for us, and something we're hoping we can get done tonight.
Yeah, no doubt, and I know. And then with corner, I know they're a really good running football team. Run fits are going to be very important. Fairview their running game was really difficult to stop last week, Coach, and I know that really they probably ran the ball as well as anybody that I've seen on the Raiders also, but hopefully going to have some guys back in the lineup as well. And so, again, run defense and tackling is going to be very important.
Agreed. We were down a couple of guys. I think we played against Fairview without any starting inside linebacker.
Yeah, that's right.
So we had some young guys in there, and I think it's great for them to see that. They have to understand the level at which we play and what it takes for them to get on the field in a consistent role. So I think it was really good for them to get that game under their belt and get some playable depth, because we're going to need a couple of those guys. If you're going to make a playoff run, guys are going to get dinged up. They're going to need a breather here or there. So you need guys that can come in and play some snaps for you and get the job done. But Fairview did a great job. They're really good up front. They're really good at what they do. Like I said, we had some opportunities. I think we missed more tackles than I think we would have liked to. I don't think we did a great job of getting a bunch of guys to the football when they were running it. And run fits. And that's the thing with great teams. You could be half a step behind, and in any other game, you probably stop it for a 1 or 2 yard gain. But against a great team like Fairview and a team like Corner, if you're half a step behind, they're going to break it for 15 or 16.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, when you go from some of your regular season games to your postseason games, that half a step matters. Those little things, those fundamentals matter. And we want to make sure that we're executing at a high level tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, to finally this is hopefully when the schedule pays off, when you play the West Morgans, who was very impressive last night, Madison Academy. We know what they've done this year. We saw Fairview last week and Westminster. Westminster will be taking the field tonight as the 1 seed. But when you've played the kind of difficult schedule the Raiders have had, hopefully this is going to prepare you for tonight in order to have success.
Right, and that's why you build it the way you want it to. I think you want to have adversity early in the year or throughout your regular season. That way, when you face it in the postseason, you've been there. You're prepared for it. You know how to handle it mentally. You've been in a situation where maybe you've been down or maybe it's been tough for you, and you've been able to battle through that, fight back, and come through and be positive on the other side of it. So, we built our schedule a certain way, and we really get an opportunity to see if that pays off for us. And, our players understand, what it's like to go through a tough game or a hard game or something that didn't go our way. And they understand what that adversity is like. So we feel like we're prepared as anybody, to face the setbacks that'll come on a normal Friday night, face the things that don't go your way, and come out on the other side better because of it.
Yeah, no question. This senior class is one you've gone through from the start, and they understand playoff football. They've been through it. This will be their 4th trip, and hopefully going to be the 3rd straight year they get a W and move on. But going to be a great atmosphere over at Sports Medfield, Coach, and we certainly appreciate your time and look forward to the call tonight. Go Raiders.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Looking forward to some good football. Go Raiders.
Thank you very much, head coach David Lloyd. Randolph Raider football, kind enough to spend his early part of his morning with us. Busy night ahead for him and the rest of our teams across North Alabama. Let's get a break in. When we come back, wrap up hour one of Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Picked up an accident on Jeff Road, south of Tony Road. That one's coming in as an injury type. And we got a no injury on Nick Davis at Wedgewood Terrace that's waiting on a trooper. Are you ready to be your best? QFit Sports Performance Training and Fitness can help. It's not a group program. It's intense one-on-one training at QFit Relentless, 256-497-9075. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
As the calendar turns to November, we thank Thanksgiving, and for that we have plenty to be thankful for. As we gather with family and friends, it's a good time to make sure your heating and cooling units are up to speed. Thomas from Talon Heating and Air with us. Thomas, if you're tired of all of that from all the other companies, give Talon Heating and Air a call.
That's right. If you're tired of hearing a bunch of, give us a call at 256-503-4490. We're still out running our special. We can come out, check out your system, make sure it's ready for heating season, and we can do that free gas inspection with that tune-up.
You can also find Talon Heating and Air online at
TalentHVAC.com.
Don't let any of those other companies jive turkey talk you into expenses you don't need. Give Talon Heating and Air a call today.
I'm pretty sure that you called me a jive turkey.
No, now, Lou. Nobody called anyone a JT.
Jive turkey is a little over the line, my man.
AL cert number 21014.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Welcome back, Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. As you wake up tomorrow morning, you're going to have that early tailgate breakfast because Alabama will kick off at 11 a.m. tomorrow, and they are playing Kentucky. They are playing Kentucky tomorrow.
Yep.
Not Auburn. Can't look ahead to anything.
No, I mean, this is what they've worked for all year, is to get to Atlanta. Everybody told them they were basically done after the Texas game, even though they hadn't played an SEC game because they played poorly. Nobody, a lot of people had written them off, even against Ole Miss. Ole Miss was going to come in and whack them, and they just basically shut down one of the best offenses in the SEC. And so and then Texas A&M, a lot of people thought that was going to be a difficult road trip, even Mississippi State. So they've navigated it. They got revenge against Tennessee and LSU, but to make it all stick, man, you got to handle business against Kentucky, who's got a solid football team. They can run the football with Ray Davis. You got to stop the run, and you got to keep Devin Leary from having a Steven Garcia.
Yes, but they are playing Kentucky, not anybody else. Don't look ahead, and that includes Miss Terry.
Huh.
Freehand that circle, pretty good. You feel like you're a pretty good little artist out there?
Not much of an artist, I can promise you. Miss Terry's pretty good at all that.
Hey, Reese Davis said Miss Terry deserves a statue there at the University of Alabama whenever you're done with this entire thing. That was something he was pushing this weekend. Bama fans love Miss Terry. The amount of messages I've got since you've joined the program, it's like, I wonder what Miss Terry thinks. I wonder what Miss Terry thinks. She's a legend. I can't wait to meet her someday, Coach.
I had to straighten her out this week with relief syndrome, too. I wake up on Sunday morning and she looks at me and says, man, it's going to be hard playing at Auburn. I said, what are you talking about? Are you kidding me? We got to play Kentucky this week. And we got Chattanooga the next week. I will worry about that when we get to that. I said, what do you think about that? I said, you got relief syndrome like everybody else. It's pervasive. The fans have it. Everybody has it. We can't have it. We got to focus on what's in front of us right now.
Was that a breakfast? What was that? Was that a breakfast?
I just said to my chair, I watched my film on the computer.
You're part of the problem, Mr.
Oh, boy.
He had to straighten her out.
Yeah, well, she was looking ahead to the Iron Bowl, and you can't do that. So, I was watching Scott Van Pelt last night. They took Kentucky, not to win, but
cover?
They took the points. I think you said is it up to 11.5?
It's 11. It says it's 11.
It's been 10.5 most of the week.
Over under
47.5.
Yeah,
it's not too high scoring. So, I picked 34-17. So that would be I'd be over that number.
Look, they're saying
37-17. Excuse me.
According to Vegas, they're saying the Auburn-Arkansas game has a higher over/under than the Alabama-Kentucky game. They're saying the over/under for Auburn and Arkansas is 48.5.
Yeah.
So a point difference.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I picked Arkansas 27-24, by the way. I think it's going to be a heck of a game.
Do you know, though, and yesterday, so Alabama travels to Lexington on Saturday. We know that. 11 a.m. game. Yesterday, though, did mark the 21st anniversary of this moment in Lexington that did involve, I believe, Nick Saban, right? Was he the coach at LSU?
We're talking about the Bluegrass Miracle, yeah.
Now, see, they only got the backside of him, though. Lorenzo got the backside. They got to get another bucket. Randall, as time expires, lets it fly. Oh, my goodness! Touchdown, LSU! They win the game! They win the football game!
Yeah.
Bluegrass Miracle.
Shocking, improbable, unbelievable.
Because you had jackasses from Kentucky running all over the field thinking it was over, and they didn't even realize what had happened until they all looked down in the end zone and were realizing that the Hail Mary actually worked. It was deflected and caught, but,
21 years ago yesterday, the comeback happened.
Yeah, it was crazy. The Kentucky controlled it for much of the game. What you just heard them say, they had poured Gatorade on Guy Morris right before the play.
Yeah, they did.
And they thought it was over. And then You throw the deep ball, and then, oh, my goodness. And then, guy was on the first bus to Baylor a few weeks later. Got the hell out of there. But, Alabama has to avoid that, man. You don't want to put yourself in that position. You know, Kentucky's a good football team. They're 6-3. They got a good road win over, Mississippi State 24-3 last week. Even though they lost, they looked better against Tennessee and really had a lot of chances to win that game, honestly. But they couldn't get it done. They couldn't stop the run. But if you're Alabama, you don't want it to come down to, where you must win in the Iron Bowl because, the Iron Bowl's crazy over at Auburn. It's always unpredictable. It's going to be a big rivalry. And so what you want to do, you want to handle business, win this game, punch your ticket to Atlanta, then handle Chattanooga, and then worry about Auburn. But, again, you want to take care of yourself. And if you want to get to the playoff, you really have no margin for error here. You need to win out. I know Bama Bulldog Sales asked me on Twitter, do you really think Alabama would get left out if they ran the table? Hell no, I don't. If you run the table and you go 12-1 and you win the SEC, I don't give a damn who's on the committee. Alabama's in or just trapdoor the committee because they're a bunch of dumbasses who wouldn't know a football if it ran. If they looked at one. Alabama, if you're the SEC champ and you're 12-1. Then you should be in the playoff. I don't give a crap about and especially considering that I don't think everybody else is going to win out anyway, because everybody keeps talking about that. But again, I don't think either Washington or Oregon is going to lose. Okay, so they are going to fall backwards. Michigan or Ohio State, one of those overrated, and both of them are going to lose. Okay, so they are. Well, and
Michigan
we'll see if Michigan can handle it this weekend.
Well, they're in the news right now, literally. In the last 5 minutes.
What happened this time?
Your friend Heather Dinich.
Heather Dimwit. What'd she say this time?
So apparently.
Who told her what to say? Who gave her the cue card to tell her what to say?
Apparently, the Big Ten. This just tells you what kind of dumbass conference. I grew up in the Big Ten, but they're just a dumbass conference right now. They are preparing a notice of disciplinary action against Michigan and Coach Jim Harbaugh ahead of their trip to Penn State.
What are they going to do, take away their ho-hos?
They leave at 11 o'clock today to go to Happy Valley. The Big Ten has
snack.
To inform. The Big Ten has yet to inform them. Apparently, what Heather – I still want to say
See, you want to say
I'm
it
gonna
too.
call it
you
a
want
real
to say
name,
it too.
I got to call it a real name. Heather Dinich is saying that there's a possible 3-game suspension on the table that could start as soon as this weekend. But they haven't even notified Michigan.
Who cares?
My point is they're leaving in 3 hours, and they have yet to notify Michigan of anything.
Boo-hoo-hoo. He'll just be calling the plays from some suite.
From the creamery on campus. He could go get ice cream and watch the game while
they'll patch him through, man. Give me a break on that. Oh yeah, Wild Stallions. He'll be somewhere probably in some suite. They'll give him some. He got thrown under the bus, but they'll give him some sweet gig where he gets free food.
But anyway, though, it's the blind leading the blind.
Crates. That's what it is. So crates.
Oh,
and
San
the fruit,
Dimas High
dude.
football rules.
Madison Academy football rules. Bob Gotze up next, courtesy of Sportsmed.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Unlike other credit cards that decline sports betting transactions or treat them as a cash advance, the G-Bank Visa Signature Card can load directly to your favorite sportsbook apps. G.Bank/VSiN.
Top 25 hoops tonight. Number 9, Tennessee is a 2.5-point favorite at Wisconsin. Number 24, Alabama by 17.5 at home against Indiana State. Thursday night football, the Chicago Bears rallied for a 16-13 win over the Carolina Panthers. Chicago 3-7 with the win, 2-3 at home. The Panthers winless in 5 tries away from home. They dropped to 1-8 overall. Amir Smith-Marset returned to punt 79 yards for a touchdown. Former Panther Dante Foreman's 4-yard run capped off a 9-play, 38-yard drive with 6:33 left in the third to put Chicago up 16-10. Chicago was a 3-point favorite heading in. The total 29, the over-under 38.5. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back into a Friday edition show where we just let it all hang out, let it all fly. But sometimes we get a little banged up, we get a little bruised. And if you do, you can always give SportsMed a call. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center. They're there for all those related injuries. Hey, Saturday from 8 a.m. to 9, you can visit 4715 Whitesburg Drive for that SportsMed Saturday Sports Clinic. And the Madison Academy Mustangs will be in action tonight, courtesy of SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, the official training providers for Madison Academy football, helping them stay healthy, helping them be hopefully at full strength for their round 1 playoff game tonight.
Well, they certainly are rounding into form, though, and Coach Bob Godsey, Hall of Fame coach, 2011 state champion at the Hartselle with the Hartselle Tigers, is wanting to get this Madison Academy squad and this program back to where they were at the top of the mountain in 12, 13, and 14 when they won 3 straight state championships. And they certainly played some of their best football last week against an extremely quality opponent in a region champion in Westminster, 47-7. What a complete performance they had in all 3 phases against a team of that caliber. And they are going to start their playoff run tonight at home against Oaks Bluff at Bill Washington Stadium. Then, of course, it'll be Joe Abraham on the call tonight with Glenn Laird. We look forward to that, and we always look forward to our chats with Coach Godsey. Coach, I know this is the time of year you always look toward. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, guys. How are y'all?
Doing good.
Well, I know, Coach, you got a chance to watch the film. Certainly, we've seen Westminster ourselves. I've had a chance to broadcast one of their games. They're a very, very talented offensive football team. A great 4 quarters put together by your defense, Coach.
Well, we felt like we had a good plan. We were confident going in, and our guys really were excited about the challenge. As the game wore on, we played with a lot more confidence. Just really proud of it. We had a little adversity there early with the turnover and some things like that. And our guys just kind of waded right through that and handled it with, like you hope they would, because, we're going to face a lot of adversity as we move forward. But, just really proud of all of our guys. But like you said, defensively, really, really played well.
No doubt, Coach. And I know, obviously, you anytime you hold an offense that's as explosive as Westminster to 7 points, that's big. And a kid like Brandon Mush, who you're very familiar with, who you've competed against for his entire career. I mean, this is a very dynamic player, and you guys were able to slow him down. So now you got to start the journey against Oaks Bluff tonight. And I thought it was key, too, because you were without a key piece offensively. Yet all year you've kind of been without guys throughout this journey in this 10-game regular season, and yet guys have stepped up, and that was the case again on Friday night offensively.
Well, it was. We were without Jackson at receiver, and so that meant that Jaden Etienne stepped up with some big catches and big plays for us. Lionel Thomas as well. Made some nice plays catching the ball, so it was good. Of course, we rely on defensive line, those guys up there. It's the most experienced and heart of our group. With Brock Horton and Reese Baker, Austin Chambers, AJ Seaton's a young kid that's really come on and played well for us, and then getting to Marcus Peoples back up there, and just kind of let them take the game over, which they did. And it doesn't take a whole lot to get Ken going, and those guys do an excellent job of that.
Coach, I know you cannot take trips to the postseason for granted. But you've been doing this a long time. I believe, 26 years now? This is your 22nd trip, if I added it up right. 22nd trip to the postseason. I mean, how special is this to get to? We talked about it with Coach David Lloyd, that when you get to this point, you're one of the 32 best to get here in your class. But kind of reflect on just getting back to the playoffs again.
Well, I mean, like you said, it's an accomplishment, and it's something that our guys have kind of been looking forward to, and it's something we try to help them understand that it is a major accomplishment. It's not just something to be taken for granted. It's not something to be taken lightly because of the success of this program and the tradition that you have here. And even as a coach, as you said, we've been in the playoffs quite a bit, and to go 10-0 is an unbelievable accomplishment. To win 10 games in a season period is an unbelievable accomplishment. To win the 10 in a row is something as well. But I think our guys are really excited. We've had a really good week of practice. They seem to be very motivated, very honed in on the task at hand, understanding that it's win or go home now. There are no redos, there are no slip ups, and hopefully we can play that way tonight.
Well, and you talked about Ken Cherry, and what a year he's had for you, Coach. I know you've had some spectacular running backs, both throughout all your stints at Brooks and Hartselle and Madison Academy. He had 220 more yards and 4 touchdowns on Friday night, and overcame an early fumble that I know led to their only score, but he responded in the right way. This is a young guy that has had a great senior year for you. I know he's over 1,800 yards now, 30 touchdowns, but I know he's – I've watched him, had a chance to see him, how explosive he is against Randolph, but a young man that's had a great senior year so far, Coach.
He really has. Ken's a hard worker. He's a great teammate. And I've said this before about some of the other players. When your dudes are your dudes, it kind of makes it hard for the other guys to not be prepared. Ken shows up every day, practice, workouts, meetings, whatever it is, ready to work. And all of our seniors are kind of that way. And that, the rest of our team feeds off of that. And I think Ken would be the first to tell you too that he has a lot of stuff, has a lot of yardage, but we have Josh Williams who has 1,000 yards as well.
Wow.
That splits time, and that really helps our team. Both of those guys play defensively pretty much every snap, and then to be able to catch a break here and there, having Josh also allows us to slip Ken out, out wide or in the slot, things of that nature. So, we kind of got a little two-headed monster thing going here, which I hope really helps us as we move further.
Well, Coach, I know it's about what Madison Academy will do tonight, but what does Hoke's Bluff bring to the table? What have you seen from film? What do we know about Hoke's Bluff?
Well, first of all, there's another program-rich, tradition-rich program. Last time they came to Bill Washington Stadium as a 4 seed, they won. So we're certainly on guard, for that as well, because Robinson's been there for, I think, 27 years, something along those lines. And where Westminster will spread you out, put you on islands and put you in space, Hoke's Bluff kind of goes the other direction. They're old school I team. They're going to bring it right at you, just basically try to make you miserable and challenge you up front and in the box. And so we got to meet that challenge again. Defensively, 8-man front stuff, and now we got to get him in space, so to speak, offensively to be able to move the ball.
And then, Coach, I know, as you said, Jackson Reeves was out last week, but hopefully we'll be back tonight. He also does some punting for you and some punt return. So it would be big to get him back because what people understand in playoff football, especially considering the caliber of opponents you play, and it only gets tougher each week, that third phase, special teams, can be a difference in a lot of playoff games.
100% true. It's something we worked extremely hard on, and feel like that we're still growing each week with that. We have an extremely young kickers, I should say, a freshman and a sophomore doing the place kicking duties, and they've continued to grow and get better as the year has gone on. Our coverage has been solid all year and better. And then return-wise, when we've had opportunities, we've been pretty solid in return games. Jackson's had some big returns. Ken's had some big returns. So Jake's has done a good job punting the ball for the first time since Jackson has been out. So, those are areas, as you said, it's areas that you worry about as a coach, punt protection, punt coverage, things like that. You worry about those as a coach when you have to do them under pressure. So we certainly worked hard on that and feel that that's a strong part of our game.
And then, of course, Jacob Podolak, he's the first-year starter at quarterback. I know he played well last week. He had the 32-yard strike to Solano Thomas. I know, Coach, you've been very complimentary of him getting comfortable in this program. And sometimes it's interesting when you're a senior and you transfer and you're only here for a year. But he did go through the entire spring and summer and everything. But talk about where he is now as far as comfort level heading into the playoffs with you.
Well, I think he's ready to really break out. I think the best thing about him has been a very good steward of the ball. Has taken excellent care of the ball all year. Makes good decisions. Does an excellent job of getting the ball to the right people. We just need that to continue to grow and to continue to work there. He does a good job with calling our protections, all the mental part of the game. And like you said, since he worked on this campus in January, he has done everything he could possibly do to contribute to learn the system, to learn the guys around him and have them learn him and be comfortable with him. He went out and earned this opportunity, earned this spot. Has been a really good team leader and teammate, with a group here. So he's excited. Our guys are excited. I think they've been kind of looking forward to this time of year. At least that's the vibe that we've had this week in practice. They're really excited that the playoffs are here and just kind of see what we got.
Well, the weather helps make the playoffs feel more real tonight. That is for sure. It feels like playoff weather now.
We're getting there. Like I said, it's been dry and hot. It's different types of deals. So it may be a little damp tonight and cool it out a little bit. But, that, like you said, that's just part of it. Got to handle the weather, got to handle the officials, got to handle bumps and bruises, and the team that does that the best typically advances.
They certainly do, Coach, and I know you're very proud of this senior group. And as you've always talked about the fabric of a program, you have to want to this time of year to be still playing and be motivated. It seems like this group is in the right place mentally. And for you tonight, Coach, in your mind, what's the key to advancing to round two? Because that's basically the way it is now. It's a win or go home. You're trying to get to the round of 16.
Well, same things I think apply. Is we got to do the best job of being us that we can be, and that's being in the right places, getting the right calls defensively. Which AJ does an excellent job of that for us in battle. Because, like I said, it's going to be a tough war inside between the tackles. Them bringing it at us, so we got to go in there and work hard. Kamani, DeMarcus, Tyler. All those guys got to play well up front and be willing to battle in there. And then offensively, just do what we do, take care of the ball, and take what the defense gives us. And, I think, hopefully we'll come out on top.
Well, we certainly are looking forward to the game tonight. Everybody tune in. Madison Academy Mustang football as they will be battling Hoax Bluff, looking to get to the 3A round of 16. And move on to 11-0. They've had such a special year, and we hope it continues. Coach, we always appreciate the time. Good luck to your squad tonight. Everyone stay healthy, and we hope the Mustangs get a win, and we'll be talking next week. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for what you do for high school football.
Coach Bob Gonzi. Hey, today's interview brought to you by Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center. Give them a call today, 256-881-5151, to experience the Sportsmed difference. Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. Let's get a break in, shall we? When we come back, phone lines are open to you, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Looking for your next game day party destination? Well, think outside the box and kick back at Flosa Premier. And you may be thinking, isn't that the trampoline place? Of course it is. But it's also the one-stop spot for all things fun. And if kicking back with the boys to watch the game is your jam, then you're in the right spot. Jump or not, Flo tends to all ages, meaning while you sit back and watch the game, but little Jimmy's having the time of his life perfecting that front flip he most definitely wants to show you. You got this, Jimmy. So next time you think Flo, think fun for everyone.
Got to look at Jeff Road and Tony Road south of the intersection. That one reported with injuries. Nick Davis and Wedgwood reported as a no injury. They were waiting on a trooper to get there. Everything else from earlier appears to have been cleared out of the way now. The end of the year is coming. If you need temp admin or accounting help for special projects, Snelling can help. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
All right, welcome back. Talking about 97.7 ESPN.
This is an apropos song. I think Tim Brando needs some gin and juice.
Well, look, I think the whole college football world needs some gin and juice right now. Sit back
It's all just a bunch of garbage.
Sit back on the porch and just relax
and
a
there
little
she
bit.
is. You talked about her.
Heather
now
Dinich.
Now Dimwit's getting some FaceTime, some AT.
Look, so I'm interested, though, because, look, I think you and I, we're on the same page.
I mean,
this
and
whole
by the way,
Michigan sign stealing thing
right.
is is out of whack, okay? First of all, the Big Ten the Big Ten kind of created this themselves. If they would have just come out and dealt with it right away, it would have been done with. But they keep on dragging their feet, and they've put themselves in a position now where they have to do something because they've talked about it for so long that they have to do something. Sign stealing is part of college football. Sign stealing is part of sports. There's college football coaches that'll tell you as GAs their first job was to spy on the other sideline and figure out signals. And then they tell other coaches those signals. It happens. It happens.
I mean, there's one thing I want to throw out to y'all, though. Is there a difference between doing that in the middle of the game and then going actively when you're not playing them that week to get the signals?
No.
I mean,
there's no.
All it is Harbaugh made somebody angry because he's bowed his neck at him, to use a term, and they've been trying to get him over these stupid, what was it, a cheeseburger or something?
Cheeseburger, yes.
And they've totally, it's gone from there because he told him to go to hell, which is one of our new things on this show. and they got mad, and so now somebody's just been they've just been trying to basically undermine him ever since and trying to dig and find, okay, what's this guy, what have they done in this program that's unethical? Everybody tries to steal signs and gain an edge. It happens all the time. I mean, in freaking Major League Baseball, they fired Alex Cora, then rehired him a year later.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? I mean, what does that tell you? It happens all the time. So, I mean, it's just totally – I mean, and I'll just say this. Michigan –
I think everybody from that Houston Astro thing has a job again.
They do. And then Michigan, look, they may win the national championship. They're going to get their opportunity. But if they don't, don't start saying, oh, it's because they couldn't stay focused because of this. Oh, who cares? If they don't win it, it's because they couldn't beat Wofford. They couldn't beat Wofford last year either.
Your friend Tim Brando says that –
He's not my friend. He's a dickhead.
I got to finish. Tim Brando said that he related this whole thing to the way – okay, so he related the way the Big Ten is handling this. He related it to, remember when Mike Slive had to handle the Cam Newton saga back in 2010.
I know.
He is relating both of those two as the same, saying that, look, the way the SEC massaged the Cam Newton thing – this is the way the Big Ten is massaging.
Well, I'll just
Jim
say
Harbaugh.
this: if that Auburn team had lost, and they could have easily to Alabama, they won that game 28-27, and if they had not won the national championship, Scott, I don't think that they all of a sudden would have got slammed by the NCAA and the SEC.
Okay.
I think Auburn was having a hell of a year. That was a I'll just say this. What I would remember is what Mike Slive said his goal was when he took over as commissioner was to get everybody off probation. So that's the way he was trying to massage it.
And get everybody ratting against, turning each other in,
Right.
doing all that other stuff. Kind of what they're doing in the Big Ten, turning each other in.
Basically Cam was NIL before NIL. I mean, he was getting ready to go play for Darth Vader over in Starkville.
Yes, he was.
Auburn, went and got him because they needed a quarterback, and even Gene Chisel, who's
didn't
over
even
there,
want him.
Yeah, he wasn't even sure how good he was. You know what I'm saying? Now
I remember talking to Gus Malzahn at the national championship game and saying, "Okay, hey, when did you guys really feel like you understood Cam Newton and understood what he could do?"
I think the only one that really knew how good he was Urban Liar, but he had Tim Tebow, and he wasn't going to beat out Tim Tebow. They were both
he threw
great
a laptop
players.
out of the window, though.
Yeah,
he wasn't going to be there first.
Well, I mean, you had quite a duo there.
No, you did.
In that dorm room with Cam Newton and Aaron Hernandez, and we all know how that ended.
Let's go out to the we do. Let's go out to the phone lines. Brandon's with us this morning. Good
that
morning,
was
Brandon.
Boys in the Hood, the sequel.
Oh, morning, Brandon.
Morning. If you made that movie today, it'd probably be a hate crime.
Well, I know. Unfortunately,
that's one movie that could not.
And
be
it was,
made
and
today.
it is
was
a classic,
good
man.
movie,
Oh, it was
it
though.
was good.
We got a problem here.
Well, I think about another movie when I think about Tim Brando, Tropic Thunder.
Uh-oh.
But Boys in the Hood, though, is 1991.
Oh, I know. It was early 90s.
Wow.
John Singleton.
But the cast in it, Ice Cube, Lawrence Fishburne, Morris Chestnut, Angela
awesome.
Bassett.
Yeah, it was tremendous. Absolutely. Groundbreaking. One of my favorites of my childhood.
I look at what Tim Brando said, and when I sent that to y'all, I'd call Bailey. There is a big difference of you're on the field of play and you're aware of your surroundings and you see something and you pick it up versus a contrived, funded spy ring that puts you on opposing team sidelines before games and before you play them. One is we're just doing our thing, and if we happen to see something, the other one is a full-on spy campaign. They have got to be treated totally different. Major League Baseball just wanted the whole Astros thing to go away because I've yet to see a commissioner in Major League Baseball that I actually think has any integrity. They just wanted that to go away. They did not want to punish that. They did not want to drag it out because I guess they think, oh, that's part of the game, everybody does it. But don't pretend that somebody getting paid some money, which has been going on since SMU days and long before, is the same as you hiring somebody to go around and infiltrate to get you information because you sucked awfully before you managed to do that. We'll never know how many games Michigan profited from the information they got, but it had to be a good bit. I'd have to say that they had to have at least 25% difference in winning. And when it's over with, I think we're going to come out and find out that Ryan Day is responsible for turning them in. I wonder if Ohio State went after Michigan in the same way that Michigan was going after other people, and will we find that out?
Well, all I can say is this, that what they did, I guess they had some kind of elaborate thing where they were trying to spend money and steal signs and all that stuff. They still couldn't beat Wofford.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
I mean, they've still never won a playoff game. So even with all the cheating they're supposedly doing, if they're doing all this elaborate stuff, how come they still can't win the big game? Now, we'll see if they beat Ohio State. We'll see if they, win the Big Ten championship game and get to the playoff. I think a lot of people think they are. Maybe James Franklin will step up and beat them this weekend. Probably not, because he usually doesn't. But, I mean, again, I'll just say this. It wouldn't surprise me if Michigan gets to the playoff undefeated, but then I wouldn't pick them to win it. I don't think they're going to beat teams like a Georgia or even a Florida State. I would take Florida State over them. I would take Georgia over them. I haven't for the Big Ten football that I've seen, and I watched some. Of course, when they had the first big game of the season when Penn State played Ohio State, it put me to sleep. I was like, I really wasn't all that impressed with it.
Well, I'm hoping that despite a bent over butt kicking that they took this past weekend from Army.
Oh yeah, I thought about you, man. That was unreal. Now my boy Paul Angelewski, who listens to this show, now he was fired up. He's a former Army wide receiver. They played their best game. Pretty shocked at that result, though.
I am too. When they stopped them on fourth down and they couldn't even get the ball forward a foot,
golly.
I said to myself, I was like, we're in trouble. Now I still think they win the Mountain West, and I would still love to go to that game if they host it because it'd be the first time ever. But I guess they probably went from playing on New Year's Day to – does the Mountain West champion one loss, are you sure to think that they would get a New Year's Six Bowl, or do you think they'll be playing on December 28th?
It's the highest. It's the highest ranked team in the college football playoff rankings of the group of five that gets the guaranteed New Year's Six Bowl.
Tulane's still only got one loss. Yeah, I'm sure Caleb Williams is aware of that.
Okay, so it'd come down between Tulane and Air Force. And I guess to me, if you win the Mountain West, I would have to give you the nod because I'm not sure is Tulane going to win theirs.
Well, so right now the highest ranked team is Tulane at 23rd.
There you go. Willie Fritz.
And they're the only ones inside.
And their only
the top
loss is to
25.
the Ole Miss Rebels.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I couldn't remember what the layout was there. I need somebody to remind me because it's become.
So does
a lot of those
Caleb
games have
Williams.
become so irrelevant.
I think it's the highest ranked. Now, they don't – because it used to be they had to be ranked inside the top, 16 or something, didn't they,
Yeah,
at
something
one
like
point?
that, yeah.
Now I think it's just the highest ranked group of 5, I think. But Tulane is the only group of 5 one in the polls right now, so they would be the one to get it again, by the way.
Yeah, Air Force had gotten to 17 and then fell out. So.
Yep.
All right, well, roll tide, gentlemen.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Brandon.
sir.
All right. All right, we got a minute. Let's get to Jeff real fast. Good
What's up,
morning,
Jeff?
Eligible players.
Who? Who did? Hello?
Hello?
Hey,
yeah,
Jeff,
what's
what
up?
do you got?
What were you saying about ineligible players, Jeff?
I was saying, I didn't know if you guys heard, but Kevin Mawai got let go here in Lipscomb.
Oh, yeah. I heard they're going to have to – are they going to have to drop football for the rest of the year?
Here's what happened.
Okay.
They used a couple of ineligible players one game this year.
Right.
And a couple players before the season they had transferred.
Yeah, the quarterback. Yeah,
and
yeah.
And then what happened? It was either before the season or something. They went back to Mississippi, but
Yeah.
they used a couple for one game. So they appealed to NCAA. The NCAA had put them on 2 years probation for being in the playoffs. So they couldn't be in the playoffs this year and next year.
Oh, wow.
So they appealed to NCAA, which is you might as well try to appeal to the Supreme Court. You ain't gonna win. So they tried to appeal, and NCAA denied it, and came back and said, okay, if you clean up your act, we'll just leave you 1 year probation. But as far as I know, right now they can't be in the playoffs this year and next year.
Oh,
wow.
Okay. So I knew they were in some hot water.
They hit them hard.
They got 2 years of probation, and but it told them that if you clean it up, we'll let you have one. And then that's when, right after that, is when they departed. They part. Of course, you can however you want to call it, party ways.
Right.
Wow, gone. So now they're looking for their third coach in 3 years now.
Wow. Of course, Trent Dilfer left to come to UAB.
Yeah, UAB.
And then they hired Mawai, and now he's gone. So now they're looking for a third coach in 3 seasons. Their third coach in 3 years.
Wow.
Well, with all these guys that I did notice in the summer, like he's talking about the QB from Mississippi, and there were several kids moving in. So
and see, there's a kid up here in Murfreesboro that played there, and now he's at one of the schools in Murfreesboro. He's a semifinalist for Mr. Football. He's got over 3,000 yards passing this year. Getting ready to play in the second round of the playoffs, and the reason why one guy said in Nashville, he's the reason why they got banned because he said Dilfer tried to make it the IMG Academy of Tennessee, trying to make all these transfers and things, and that's what he thinks is why they really got hit by the T. Loveless AA as far as that goes. But like I say, we've got our playoffs. We're in the second round of the playoffs tonight. So
that's right.
We've got a few more weeks, and first week of December when we end our season. But yeah, if the Alabama coach wants that job, to tell them they can go up to National Fly if they want to.
Ask Rush Probst. He may need a job.
Rush Probst is available.
Yeah. Well, y'all have a good weekend. Take care.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard Jeff laugh on this show.
I was just gonna say,
oh my goodness. Rush Probst made him laugh.
We made him laugh. Woo! Oh, that was so good.
Nice.
Oh, I love it. Let's get a break in. When we come back, Anthony Dasher, we'll see if we can make him laugh as well.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Friday, expect scattered showers. Otherwise, we'll sit under a cloudy sky. High temperatures going to be topping out in the upper 50s for the afternoon. Heading into your Friday night, we'll continue to see mostly clouds. Low temperatures falling into the upper 40s, lower 50s in some areas. We could also see gusty winds as high as 20 miles per hour. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Haven't picked up anything new accident-wise. Had that one on Jeff Road south of Tony Road. It's been cleared. Nick Davis and Wedgwood Terrace also appears to have been cleared up now. You be careful. Looks like we are going to have a lot of folks in last-minute dash mode this morning. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Listen to the Bama Recap Show each Sunday morning at 11, presented by Freedom Marine Center on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, happy Friday morning, everyone. We're on the downhill slope as far as our show goes for the week.
Yeah, some
We're
people
about
might
done.
say that our show's going into the tank anyway, but oh well.
It's not going in the tank. We've accomplished 2 things today. Number 1, we made Jeff from the Borough laugh, which I've never heard before, and that was
He's usually yelling at me.
That was an interesting laugh, by the way. Yeah. I did not know it could happen. But then we've also set the stage, and we've been very productive today. We've set the stage for some great high school football, and we've set the stage for some great college football coming up this weekend. And we focused a lot on the Alabama-Kentucky game, the Auburn-Arkansas game, the Tennessee-Missouri game, and the Ole Miss-Georgia game as well, because all of those have meanings in their own way.
Yeah, they really do. And we're going to talk to one of my favorite folks. He's with UGAsports.com, part of the Rivals Network. The managing editor of that website does a great job as their lead writer as well, covering the Georgia Bulldogs. And it's Anthony Dasher. He's with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Anthony, welcome back to the show. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Drew.
Morning, man. A $6,000 question. Well, it's more like $64,000. No, for me it is. I still am convinced because I've been. People asked me this earlier this week. I still think Brock Bowers may play situationally in this game. Now, Wes Neighbors thought I was nuts. He said he didn't think he would play. He thought he would wait till maybe the SEC championship game or the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony, what are you hearing? Is there a chance he could play Saturday against the Rebels?
There is a chance that Brock can play Saturday against the Rebels. How much, I'm not sure. But he was actually doing some jogging, last week. He has since progressed to running. And according to Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint on Monday, he was already posting GPS numbers of 19 and 20 miles per hour. That was on Monday.
Wow.
I'm sorry. That was on. I think I might have been actually on Sunday when they were doing some running. And we hear that he may have actually ditched the black non-contact jersey.
Well, I mean, look,
clear play.
Yeah, and if we're saying play, and I think it's a difference between what we saw from Brock Bowers earlier in the year.
He took over the Auburn game, but we're talking about situational stuff. Yeah.
Versus this is one of the last times he's going to get to play inside Sanford Stadium. Maybe the last time.
It will be the last time.
Yeah, senior day. we're saying maybe 5-10 plays versus being a big part of the game plan type of playing.
I think it may be more than 5 or 10 plays. I'm not saying a full load, but if again what I'm hearing is correct, he's gonna be on the field a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I'm thinking maybe 15 or 20, something maybe along those lines. That one thing again, when you talk about the running he's been doing, straight line running is not football running.
Right,
You got to
right.
learn how to cut, that kind of thing. But again, we hear he has progressed to that, but we still don't know exactly. I can't sit here and tell you 100% how much the guy is going to play, but I do think he will.
And see that and, as Wes said, he said, "Well, Drew's proved me wrong before," and I just said, "Wes, I got a feeling because it's been they say 3 weeks. It's actually been by Saturday nearly a month since he's been out, and I've seen guys recover from this, Anthony. I know he won't be 100%, but just able to play situationally."
Well, everybody used the Tua example.
Yeah, that's what I was.
The first what was it? The first time I think it was it 20 days or 27 days? I know he had 2 of them, right?
Yes, sir.
And one was 20, one was 27, or 26, whatever. Brock had the surgery on October 16th, so it will have been 26, 27 days for him. So he's on that same path that Tua was whenever he was able to come back and play pretty effectively whenever he did. So. If anything, it's given Lane Kiffin, and Pete Golding a lot more to think about going into this ball game than maybe they originally had planned, a week or so ago.
Yeah,
this is 2 weeks in a row now for Georgia that a lot of people feel, not a lot, I shouldn't say a lot, but there are people that feel, okay, this is another week for Georgia to be vulnerable. Last week it was Missouri, now it's Ole Miss.
This game, again, I may be totally off my rocker here, but this game has a little bit of a Kentucky feel going into it. I mean, that Kentucky game, there was a lot of people kind of saying the same, sort of thing. Wow, I think Ole Miss is definitely a better team, than Kentucky, especially on the offensive side. The Rebels have struggled a little bit defensively. They're going to have to, if they're going to beat Georgia, they're going to have to outscore Georgia at home at night in Sanford Stadium, where the crowd is going to be major jacked up. They're hoping this crowd is going to be very similar to last year's game against Tennessee. And I think everybody remembers that game, how loud it was.
Oh, yeah.
Tennessee had 9 false starts in that contest. And Coach Smart has called on the crowd, much like he did last year, against the Vols. And, the crowd responded then. And then they fully expect, with this being the first night game at Sanford an SEC night game in Sanford in two seasons, that they're going to respond again in pretty much the same fashion. At least they're hoping that anyway.
Well, I mean, and Brock Bowers, if he plays, as you're saying, 20 to 25 plays, let's say, in this game, that will certainly excite the crowd. And I think everyone understands how good this young man is, and that this will be very likely his last game in Sanford Stadium. That's another factor.
No doubt about it. I mean, and Brock wants to play too. I mean, when this injury, first took place, I heard people say, "Well, he needs to sit out and do this, that, and the other." Well, y'all don't know Brock Bowers.
No, exactly.
Y'all don't know this kid. Y'all, no. He's going to come back. It's just a matter of a win. And I'll admit, when it first happened, these injuries, these high ankle sprains, the tightrope surgery, I didn't think I thought the SEC championship might be a good time for him to come back, but. As we quickly saw, he was back on the field doing some stuff like a week later. I'm like, okay, this is Brock Bowers. He's different than a lot of guys out there right now. So he's going to come back. It's just a matter of when. But again, I thought maybe Tennessee would be the one where he makes an appearance. But again, playing, I think, in what's going to be his final game at Sanford is a big deal for him. Senior day, and plus of everything that's on the line for Georgia, he wants to be out there.
Yeah, well, see, that was the way I tracked this, Anthony. When the injury happened, I told some people, I said, look, if Ole Miss bounces back after the Alabama game and they get to this point and it's a top 10 matchup in Sanford Stadium, I've got to believe that Brock Bowers will be out there.
Yeah, and I think so too. Like I said, I don't know 100% how much he's going to play, but everything that we've been told, he's going to be on the field in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Can Ole Miss establish a running game against this Georgia defense?
See, that's where I doubt it. I think Kirby's going to have these cats ready, man.
Yeah, they're going to need to tackle better. Judkins is maybe the best back in the conference as far as yards after contact, breaking tackles. He does a tremendous job. And Georgia, from time to time, has had some issues. And Schrader last week,
Yeah,
for
Schrader
Missouri,
got problems.
rushed for over 100 yards. He was the first back to do that against this defense, this season. But yeah, when Georgia is known as got a running back of that caliber coming in, much like, again, going back to that Kentucky game, Davis, for the Wildcats, they were able to shut him down, pretty well. Again, not saying that's going to happen tomorrow, but Georgia is very aware of Quinshawn and what he's capable of doing. So I expect you'll see a very big focus on that and try their best to make Ole Miss one-dimensional.
Well, and then another thing that's underrated is, and he's been underrated his whole career, but Ladd McConkey is coming off really good, a strong effort. Really, maybe his best game of the year, Anthony.
He's healthy now too. I mean, there's just certain quarterbacks have certain dynamic rhythm, whatever you want to call it, with certain receivers, and Carson Beck and Ladd McConkey definitely have that. And I think I need to give Carson some credit too throughout this whole deal too. And then the guy's thrown for 250 yards in every single game Georgia's played this year, and even without Brock. I mean, we saw what he did with in the Florida game. Of course, Florida's not very good right now, but he used 11 different receivers in that game to really move the offense pretty well. And last week against which I think is a very good Missouri team. I'm not going to be shocked to see Missouri beat Tennessee this week. I think that much of their defense, Missouri defensive front, is very, very good. I mean, that front seven is it's the best I've seen this season so far.
Wow.
Well, so it's not going to surprise me to see them, give the ball to run. But getting back to Carson, he's just done a very good job of spreading the ball around. The running game seems to get better as games go along, and they've been able to maintain despite the loss of Brock.
Well, Auburn, Florida, Missouri, they all put extra pass rushers on there trying to get to Carson Beck. Yeah. And all Carson Beck has done is answer the call every single time against these pass rushes.
Yeah, he's done very good. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I wish I did, but the success rate when teams blitz is pretty good. It's some of the best in the conference, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Ole Miss, obviously a very good pass rushing team. I think that they will be the best from that standpoint that Georgia has seen this year. But like you said, Georgia has done a very good job in pass pro, and again, that's something much like knowing they have to start the running game. They know they're going to have to contain that the Ole Miss blitz and pressure they try to put on.
Well, and again, Anthony, I wanted to ask you too, because you've seen every game. I asked Vince Ferrara this. He felt like Alabama would win the game, and it might be difficult. You saw Kentucky, and Georgia handled them. Does Kentucky have a shot against Alabama in Lexington?
It'll depend on the quarterback play, but I don't. Just what I saw anyway, I don't think so. I think Alabama will win this game, relatively easily. I mean, I don't. Especially if they can stop Davis, I mean, that's going to put a lot of pressure on the QB there. And from what I've seen, I'm not convinced he's a guy who can carry an offense when all phases of the team is not clicking.
Well, and then for Georgia to swing back to this game, we know the whole key to the drill. I've always said this about Lane Kiffin. They talk about the offensive acumen and Jackson Dart, but the key for Georgia is going to be, you already mentioned it, but it's why Alabama beat Ole Miss. You have to stop the run first.
No doubt. And I know Ole Miss was banged up in that Alabama game too, and something Coach Kiffin mentioned. And I've talked to some other folks who kind of was telling me some of the stuff I wasn't quite aware of, some of the injuries that were going on in that game. But yeah, I mean, Georgia knows what it had to do against Ole Miss in this contest. I mean, Jackson Dart, his running ability too, I think is a little bit of a concern. Missouri's quarterback last week had some success, and the Auburn's quarterback obviously had some success too when they played, down in the Plains a few weeks ago. But again, I just think this game being at night, as jacked as this crowd is going to be, Georgia can earn another trip back to Atlanta as SEC East champions with a win in this one. I just think it's going to be hard for Ole Miss to come in and win this one.
And don't forget, it's Senior Day / Brock Bowers Day too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of mojo going toward Georgia in this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Well, it's going to be a jacked atmosphere, and we've kind of sort of buried the lead here, Anthony. But you win the game, you're going to Atlanta.
Exactly. That's what I was just saying, man. They win that game. That's the first step in Kirby's plan. I mean, it's like a 3-4 step process every season, and this would be number one if they could get this pulled off.
No question. Well, good stuff, Anthony. We appreciate the time. We know it's a busy one for you. Let everybody know how to follow you guys at UGA Sports and follow your work.
yeah, they can follow me on Twitter at Anthony-1 and on UGAsports.com.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Anthony.
See you guys.
All right, Anthony Dasher with us. Let's get a break in. We'll wrap it up with your tomorrow's headlines next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We're beginning to wind things down pretty quick now. I haven't picked up anything new accident-wise. Our last reported one was Cecil Ashburn near Old Big Cove. That one was reported as an injury type. Everything else appears to be in pretty good shape. Just a lot of folks in last-minute dash mode trying to make it in this morning. Are you ready to be your best? QFit Sports Performance Training and Fitness can help. It's not a group program. It's intense one-on-one training at QFit Relentless. 256-497-9075. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Danny, pass the potatoes, please.
Sure, Dad.
And the salt.
Here you go.
And the bucket.
I need the bucket.
The water is dripping in my food.
Honey, can we get the roof fixed now?
Don't wait until the damage is done to call a roofer. Call the experts at Yellowhammer Roofing and let them inspect your roof. Locally owned and operated, licensed and insured. Call 256-232-1933. That's 256-232-1933. YellowhammerRoofing.com.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Here we go.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to this part. This is where I wanted to go.
I thought this was Days of Our Lives at first.
No, the reason why I'm doing this is because everybody here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone, we sincerely thank veterans and their families for their service, because today is Veterans Day.
It is.
We honor it across America.
Thank you for all you do for us.
Yes.
And keeping us safe.
So that is why we come back.
We are the
out
home of
break.
Army football, who got the big win over Air Force.
Plus, it just sounds really cool, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations to North Alabama, the men basketball. They go to 2-0 on the season. They get by Alabama A&M last night, 83-67.
Nice job.
Jakari Lane chipped in 15 points over 21 minutes. Team high 4 assists for Jakari Lane last night.
My dog right there, man. Jakari, he can go.
And UNA, though, is now 20-6 all-time against the Bulldogs, going back to 1970. And Alabama A&M has never defeated UNA on the road.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
There you go. A little in-state college basketball last night. Of course, coming up this weekend, it is another busy weekend of college basketball. If you want to look at it, Alabama is at home. Are they at home tonight, or is it tomorrow?
Yeah, they are home against the Larry Birds, Indiana State.
Tonight?
Yes, they will be on tonight. Yep.
All right.
And so I'm sure we will be carrying that on one of the zones because we have 1,000 of them. I mean,
because we got football on 1 and 2.
We got at least 5.
I don't know if we are or not, because remember, UAH plays tonight as well.
I know.
So we didn't get
We've
Shulman on today.
We've got 5.
We could have woke him up in Florida.
I mean, come on. We don't want to wake him up yet. I mean, I'm sure we'll let him get a couple of dubs first when he's in a better mood. And then right now he's probably got some anxiety.
Hey, how about this? Mississippi State got a win this early. I did not see this earlier in the week. They got a win against Arizona State.
Yeah.
I did not see that earlier in the week.
Hey, I got to give a shout out too. Like Tennessee State went to 2-0 on the season, and I got to give a shout out to. He was a guest on this show. Because he made history. He was the first Brooks athlete to be a Division I basketball player. He redshirted last year, but Canute Wood got him about 10 minutes of PT last night from Brooks. He redshirted a year ago, so 7 points for Canute, 3 rebounds, and an assist. So they get a big win last night over Kentucky State.
Auburn has Southeast Louisiana tonight.
Yeah, they're
Alabama
playing tonight
has
too.
Indiana State.
Have the Sycamores.
Florida and Virginia. Georgia, Wake Forest. Those are all tonight.
Georgia's already took one ass whipping.
Ohio State and Texas A&M tonight as well.
Yeah, interesting.
Some interesting matchups there.
Don't let Dirt Neck come to that game.
Oh my goodness, we've done 5 days. We're done.
Well, you know, Dirt Neck, he's got a big game with Mississippi State. So
he does.
At home, maybe he won't gag.
Let's go State.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10%